During this presentation, we will guide you through all the 5 phases of the VCW. This is our team. As you can see, we have 3 Carolinas. I'm the third one. Due to a highly international customer base and a very positive growing rate, Landeau Chocolate started to get proposals to expand internationally and demand from customers to have the brand in their countries that tried the cake when visiting Lisbon. With all these requests, the founder started thinking that she should find a perfect place for this expansion to happen, but still couldn't figure out, and that's where we take over. While performing the VCW, we concluded that Vienna in Austria is the perfect location to start this new journey. To implement the project, the investment will depend on some factors, but will be between 80,000 to 275,000 euros. Manpower will be basically the internal team and some external hiring for the new store that we estimate to open on the third quarter of 2024. Slide 4 to 8. To give you a little introduction of the company, Landeau was founded in 2010, named after the owner, Sophia Landeau, that is passionate for culinary and chocolate. The USP of the company is about high-quality ingredients and a premium experience while eating the cake. That's why the design of the stores is very special for the brand and the inexistence of Wi-Fi by choice, in order for people to be present in the moment and create memories with their loved ones. The stores are in very touristic and busy areas, catching the attention of visitors from all over the world, and people can also order online with delivery only in Lisbon. The cake was even cited on a New York Times post by a journalist from the magazine that was visiting Lisbon when first tried Landeau's cake, and even tries to recreate the recipe when she got home. On the first phase of the VCW, we tried to understand the context to get an overview of the market, define the challenge, and KPIs that will help us measure progress. With the Porter's 5 forces, we concluded that Landeau is operating in a medium to high competition industry. Since the quality and recipe of the cake are major for the business, the suppliers have the highest power due to high switching costs that Landeau may suffer if it decides to change ingredients or suppliers. They would have to adapt the recipe and the flavor that is already a signature of the brand. This would also impact its expansion because suppliers they work with would have to be available to work in the new location. The chocolate industry has low barriers for the new entrants, but this doesn't have a high impact since Landeau has a differentiated and unique proposal. Buyers have a lot of options in the market, which gives them some power of choice, but the target market is customers that seek for high quality and are not very sensitive to price. There are many alternatives in the market, which makes differentiation really important. On the TAS analysis, considering the brand strengths that we already mentioned previously, like high quality and well-established customer base, combined with the weaknesses related to lack of online presence, Landeau should opt for prime locations in new markets, pursuing opportunities it has, and expand its product line within the chocolate market. It should also prevent from possible threats and adapt to new recipes due to shifting preferences towards healthier options, improve social media and online presence, and strengthen its national delivery system.
In order to complement our analysis, we decided to perform a pestle analysis. In the political factor, we would like to highlight food safety policies and regulations in terms of health, packaging, sustainability, operations, and logistics, as well as government support for new business such as tax incentives. For the economical factor, levels of income are of extremely important consideration, especially if we're talking about premium chocolate products. Also, currency exchange rate, as it can impact the cost of importing and exporting chocolate products such as cakes. In the social perspective, the increasing awareness of health and wellness has led to a shift towards healthier food options, which can impact the demand for chocolate products. Therefore, it is important to adapt to the emerging customer preferences. Cultural preferences also play a major role here. For technological advancements in manufacturing and production, process can and will increase efficiency and reduce costs. Additionally, the growth of e-commerce has made it easier for consumers to purchase chocolate products online, which has opened up new sales channels for chocolate companies. For the legal factor, matters like food safety regulations and employment laws should be considered as it will change from country to country. Lastly, the production of cocoa is heavily dependent on the environment, and chocolate companies are under increasing pressure to adopt sustainable practices to minimize their environmental impact, either in production, packaging, or others. Also, climate change can affect cocoa production, as changes in temperature and rainfall patterns can impact crop yields. Now that we have a better understanding of the external factors, we can move on to the challenge identification. The KDM provided us with the challenge of finding the most attractive city for Landeau's new store. In order to get a deeper understanding of the problem, we applied a 5 whys methodology to arrive at the root cause of the problem. Now we are able to define that the ultimate goal for this challenge would be to diversify Landeau's risk while also creating a unique and memorable experience to maintain the company's legacy. For KPIs, we decided to divide them into 3 groups, so group KPIs, short-term and long-term KPIs. For the first group, we decided to become fully knowledgeable about the VCW, adherence to the group due dates, and an effective coordination between all KDMs. For short-term KPIs, we established locating the most desirable location for Landeau's business, finding legal requirements for the chosen country, locate the tool to aid in the hiring of employees once the store opens, and find out the total of initial investment needed. For long-term KPIs, we want to achieve 10.52% growth by 2025, generate 15,000 profit in the first year of opening, and sell at least 136 cakes monthly in 2025. Here we had to gather the ideas for the possible cities, so the group did a brainstorm in order to come up with the possible cities for the new location. We always kept in mind, because it was important for the KDM, to only choose the major cities in the world as well as the capitals.
Moving on to phase 2B, which is finding criteria and filters. We have identified 6 major filters here, which is availability of data, political, societal, environmental, geographical, and economic areas. This includes local regulations, taxations, cultures and traditions, climate situation, and the market size of the economy. Moving on to phase 2B survey results. We did a survey with some students to find out what are some cities where they have enjoyed the chocolate cake most. Lisbon is one such area in Portugal, and in the international market, Vienna was another place where the chocolate cake was enjoyed the most. Furthermore, we identified how often do people eat chocolate cakes and how much they are willing to pay for a piece of chocolate cake, and we found out that there is a certain region where people used to eat a lot of chocolate cakes in 1 to 2x per month, and mostly they are ready to pay up from 3 euros to 6 euros. Logistics was one of our main concern because Sofia especially wanted to make the cakes here in Portugal and then ship it to the places where we'll be opening the new store. So some of the points that we wanted to consider is how much would be the shipping cost, what were the number of shipments expected per month, the type of packaging we would be using, and a few of the guidelines like danger zone, extreme temperatures, because the food, little heat or too much cold can ruin the food. We further did some research to understand how the fluctuation of temperature affects the food, and we found out in some zones that the transition time from the start of the logistics till the end where the product is delivered to the place, we have to consider a lot of temperatural abuse. The temperature couldn't be too cold and the temperature at the same time couldn't be too hot, otherwise it will ruin the taste of the cake. We also tried to figure out how much the duration of the shipment affects the temperature profile. One of the examples was from FedEx, where they have shown that for every hour or for every few minutes, the temperature could vary a lot, which could also affect the texture of the cake. In terms of logistics, pricing was another such point for us. The high prices differences between different types of containers will impact the profitability of the expansions. We tried to get an estimate to understand how much per shipping container could cost us. The range could vary from $29 to $117 per container. Lisbon indicates to be a harbor with limited direct shipping routes. The travel time and cooling could have severe impact on the quality of food and could therefore highly impact the potential locations of our future stores. For the 2B phase, the final thing was to apply the poker method and identify key filter areas for us. So the poker method says that we have to have 4 sections. One is keep, the other one is kill, review, and multiply. In keep, we found out that there are a few filters like local regulations, sugar taxes, culture and traditions, climate, tourism, etc., which we have to keep. A few that we thought we could kill is from the local events, seasonality, as they may not impact the sales so much. For the review, we have to figure out the filters like the availability of the data, because the data could vary a lot from one country to another. And similarly, the number of competitors in the region is specific to the geographical location. In multiply, we kept 3 more filters, which are taxation, expenditure, and competition, to further understand how we should approach these filters.
Even though we gathered much information and conducted many group meetings to generate the best filters to ensure that the final solution we would get would be the most suitable one for Landeau, we still needed to incorporate different perspectives and external sources in the decision-making process, in this case, in the purification of our criteria. In this way, for this specific step of the wheel, the most critical role in defining which filters to keep was taken by the KDM. But first, we would like to highlight as well the key role of our group brainstorming sessions and the external sources regarding key considerations before expanding a business. But why was the KDM involvement important? Sophia Landeau complemented our strategic view and analysis, showing that there were still 4 additional filters to take into account. Filter 7, ease of doing business, which was a filter that we had in reviewing when we applied the poker method, and then we had filter 10, 13, and 14 to consider as well. Moving on to phase 3, our purpose in working with the value creation wheel was to select finally the main ideas and filters to consider to reach the solution for Landeau. In phase 3A, and after considering the KDM opinions and insights, all ideas were replaced by new ones. Once again, the KDM was critical in helping the group find the right direction for Landeau. Places like Cascais and Viana do Castelo in Portugal were left out of consideration. However, new ones were added, like Sydney in Australia and New Delhi in India. For instance, the KDM was really open to hearing our opinions about why we didn't add Sydney and New Delhi in the first place. Logistically, we were worried that would not be feasible. Nevertheless, she reminded us about the importance of the main challenge we had in mind. Find the destination, the journey comes after. Finally, we add the selected filters to help us find the most suitable city for Landeau, with accuracy and flexibility. As you can see, we reached 12 mandatory filters and 4 optional ones. Evidently, we were going to start applying the filters for the country and only after for the cities of the best 3 options generated by the first filter application. As you can see, country and city filters only have one difference. The GDP per capita is defined in the country filters and the GMP in the city filters. With this being said, we ranked the filters from most to less important to apply in our value creation wheel process. Moreover, the ease of doing business becomes the most relevant filter to consider since the KDM is risk averse, and high regulations can postpone or even stop business from opening, so it is vital to find a place that is conducive for a business to run. In the second place, we have GDP per capita and GMP, which are essential tools for assessing a country and city's potential since they enable risk reduction, provide an overall picture of the economy's health, and help investors and businesses to identify trends and patterns. For instance, it shows which geographies are growing faster or slower. In the end, but still important to consider, we have operational taxes, governmental incentives for new businesses, and the price of competitors. However, they are at the bottom because we look at these filters as more secondary, helpful tools than completely decisive for the business to be open. Lastly, we have optional filters that will give us an extra overview on certain parameters, such as electricity costs, culture, tourism, and climate, to help us identify the destination that fulfills even these aspects.
We will now shift our focus to phase 4, narrow, which entails the identification and selection of the most promising value creation opportunities for the company, with a view to capturing value. This phase is further divided into 3 subphases, namely for A, the value creation funnel, for B, concept and value proposition, and for C, prototype. Through this process, we aim to refine our understanding of the target market and develop a clear value proposition that will enable us to differentiate ourselves from our competitors and successfully meet the needs of our customer. Firstly, a value creation funnel was constructed to evaluate the potential countries that Landeau could expand into. The result of the funnel analysis demonstrated only 3 countries, namely Austria, the Netherlands, and Ireland, have met the required criteria for the further consideration and therefore passed the threshold. Moving forward, a second value creation funnel has been developed to identify potential cities to enter. For each of the three countries that passed the threshold in the previous funnel, the biggest and most renowned city has been selected. Despite Spain not meeting the country threshold, the key decision maker has shown a strong interest in establishing a presence in the country. Therefore, the team opted to include it in the value creation funnel of potential cities to see if individual cities in Spain had some kind of potential. As shown in the table above, we can see that 50% of the selected cities passed the threshold, including Amsterdam, Eindhoven, Vienna, Barcelona, and Valencia. In order to refine the selection of a suitable city, the team opted to deliberate upon non-mandatory filters. This additional stage of analysis led to the determination that Vienna represents the most favorable choice, primarily due to its robust tourism industry and moderate electricity expenses. Moreover, if we take a closer look to the mandatory filters, we can see that Vienna is a city with a higher chocolate consumption and the bigger retail space availability. Moving on to phase 4B, we will define the concept and value proposition of Landeau. In this phase, we analyze the competitive landscape. Landeau will indeed not face direct competition if he opens a shop in Vienna, as there are no brands that specialize on the production of one specific type of chocolate cake. However, the brand will need to compete in the Vienna's cake market, which is dominated by the iconic Sachertorte, a must-try for visitors to the city. This cake has indeed become a symbol of Vienna's rich cultural heritage. As a result, we have identified 5 primary and direct competitors. For each of these competitors, we have determined the respective areas of focus and identified the advantages that they may hold over Landeau. Landeau's primary and largest competitor is Café Sacher, a renowned and historic café located in close proximity to the Vienna State Opera. Established in 1876, Café Sacher has gained worldwide recognition for its famous chocolate cake, the Sachertorte, and is widely considered to be the birthplace of this iconic dessert. Café Sacher brand ethos centers on providing customers with products that are steeped into tradition and exemplify the highest standards of quality, while simultaneously ensuring the best customer experience. Their advantage over Landeau is indeed on their strong brand reputation, the customer loyalty, and the presence of an online shop. Another potential competitor to consider is Gerstner, a Viennese patisserie that was established in 1847. Gerstner specialized in creating high-end cakes and pastry, including chocolate cakes and torts. Like Café Sacher, Gerstner is also located in close proximity to the Vienna State Opera and places an emphasis on providing customers with products that represent Viennese tradition while using only the highest quality ingredients. In addition, this brand focuses on providing a gourmet experience for its customers. This is characterized by unique preparation techniques and a high level of attention to detail in both presentation and flavor. The advantage that this company holds on Landeau is indeed a strong brand reputation that they were able to create over the years. Moving forward, we identified Demo as a third potential competitor. Demo is an historic Viennese confectionery and bakery that was founded in 1786. It is located in central Vienna, near the Hofburg Imperial Palace. The bakery is renowned for its high-quality pastries, cakes, and confectionery, and is particularly famous for its handmade chocolate and signature cakes. Their focus lies on offering traditional quality pastries and a gourmet experience. One notable advantage that Demo holds over Landeau is its established online retail platform, which enables the bakery to reach a wider audience and facilitates sales. The fourth competitors that Landeau will need to face is Café Central. The fourth competitor Landeau will need to face is Café Central, a pastry shop and chocolaterie for fine palates where you can taste traditional Austrian cakes and pastries. Established in 1876, Café Central is renowned for its elegant Viennese-style interior design and its menu of high-quality pastries. Café Central is distinguished by its focus on traditional quality and extensive range of high-end confectionery offerings. One notable advantage that the coffee house holds over Landeau is its prime location in close proximity to the Palais Ferstel, a high popular tourist destination in Vienna. The last identifiable competitor is Ida. Ida is a popular chain of Viennese coffee houses and bakeries that was established in 1913. With more than 30 locations throughout Vienna, Ida has become a well-known brand, synonymous with high-quality coffee, pastries, cakes, and other baked goods. Known for its pink theme interior, the focus of IDEA lies on unique identity and offering the best experience to their customers. Indeed, the advantage that IDEA holds over Landeau has to do with its distinctive branding and online shopping. Proceeding further, a competitive landscape metric has been developed to gain a better understanding of Landeau's position relative to its competitors. This tool will help to provide a more comprehensive overview of the competitive landscape and enable the company to identify areas where it can gain a competitive advantage and differentiate itself from its rivals. The chosen indicators for the competitive landscape matrix are based on two differentiation factors: modern and traditional taste, as well as diversified and specialized offerings. The modern taste criteria refers to cafes that offer more sophisticated and distinctive flavors, going beyond the typical Austrian recipes. The traditional taste criteria focus on places where customers can savor the classic and traditional flavors of Austrian patisseries. The diversified criteria covers shops and bars that provide a broad range of cakes and pastries with different flavors, design, size, and ingredients. Finally, the specialized criteria are dedicated to places that concentrate on offering one or few products with a particular taste. According to the competitive landscape matrix, Landeau is the sole company positioned on the top right quadrant of the chart. This is due to its specialization in a single product, a signature chocolate cake, which provides a modern taste that distinguishes it from its competitors. Moving on, what is the value proposition of Landeau? Landeau chocolate offers a luxurious and indulgent experience for chocolate lovers who appreciate high-quality artisan confections. The famous chocolate cake is created using only the finest ingredients sourced from all over the world to create unique and exquisite flavors that delight the senses. The brand's focus is built upon three key pillars, namely providing high-quality products, unique taste experiences, and premium customer experience. Landeau's competitive advantage is rooted in its exceptional and distinctive product offering, non-traditional flavor combination, meticulous attention to detail, and premium quality of ingredients. In reference to Phase 4C, a prototype was established serving as a marketing strategy that Landeau intends to utilize to convey its concept and value proposition. As a part of this process, the team opted to implement the 7 Ps framework. Slide 46. Considering the priority of the key decision maker to preserve the same concept and extend it overseas, the 7 Ps analysis generated insights that closely correspond with their viewpoint and the concept presented in Portugal. What is Landeau product? So, Landeau's product offering will center around a singular chocolate cake, uniquely formulated and packaged with colors evocative of chocolate. The intended use occasion for this cake is estimated to be once a month. Moreover, Landeau could develop a comprehensive promotional strategy that encompasses a variety of channels. This includes the development of its own website and presence on social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook. Additionally, the company will rely on word of mouth and earned media to promote its product. To further drive sales, Landeau will offer limited edition seasonal products such as those for Christmas or even Easter. This approach is designed to appeal to a broad range of consumers and create a sense of excitement and anticipation around the Landeau brand. Regarding the pricing strategy, Landeau has decided to maintain the same prices for its products as in Portugal. This includes a premium price of €4.50 for a slice of medium cake, €26 for a small cake of 700 grams, €38.5 for a medium cake of 1.5 kilograms, and €64.5 for a big cake of 3 kilograms. Regarding the payment options include cash or card at the physical store, while online purchases can be paid by card upon delivery or via bank transfer. In terms of plates, Landeau will implement a direct distribution strategy that includes a physical store and home delivery service. The delivery fee will be determined by distance and availability, and the deliveries will be available Monday to Saturday between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. In terms of people, Landeau will prioritize maintaining a family essence in its operations, as well as employing a devoted, hand-picked, niche and trained staff. The team will have a willingness to exceed customer expectation and go beyond what is required to satisfy the request. In terms of the production process, Landeau will ensure that all their cakes are locally produced in Lisbon to maintain the highest quality standards, and when shipped abroad to Vienna, they will be deep frozen in order to preserve their quality during the transit. Last but not least, in terms of physical evidence, Landeau will offer a unique and distinctive experience to customers through the carefully curated decor and ambience of each store, which will be designed as a concept store. The interior design will be meticulously crafted to provide a premium and sophisticated atmosphere. The packaging of the product, instead, will feature sustainable materials with cacao leaves, giving it an eco-friendly and premium look. Additionally, limited edition packaging will be introduced for special occasions, enhancing the overall customer experience.
Besides Sophia Landeau and the existing team that will continue focus on expanding the production, an interim team will support the company. The production facility and team have enough capacity to provide products for additional markets without additional hires. Our sales manager, Carolina, will focus on customer acquisitions, external partnerships establishment, customer relation management, and benchmarking. Carolina, our marketing manager, will focus on brand management, marketing analysis, and Landeau's advertisement and promotion. Our human resources manager, Carolina, is responsible for recruitment, performance management, training, and development, and acting in accordance to local labor laws. Also, regulations. Shashwat will focus on design and prototyping, innovation strategy, intellectual property management, and continuous improvement of all logistics and supply chain management. Sophia completes our interim team as R&D manager with responsibilities in operation strategy, quality control, and product market fit. I personally will be responsible for the budget and investment management, project management, forecasting, modeling, and data reporting. Additionally, we will hire store staff, which will take care of the day-to-day operations, serving and preparing coffee. Our expansion plan is divided into several categories, each with specific actions taking place in different timeframes. Business planning and budgeting is an important step that involves developing a business plan and creating a budget to ensure the expansion is financially feasible. This will help us to determine how much funding we will need for the expansion and how long it will take to break even. Market research is scheduled to take place in Q2 of 2023, and during that time we will try to identify potential markets and customers for expansion. This will involve analyzing customer demographics, preferences, and purchasing behaviors. For example, we might conduct surveys or focus groups to understand what types of coffee and cake flavors are popular in different regions. In Q3 of 2023, we will move on to expansion strategy, which involves outlining the strategy for expansion. As an example, we may decide to open new stores in specific locations, target new customer segments, or launch new regional products that fit well to Landeau's cake. This will help us to define our expansion goals and objectives. Following that is investment acquisition, which is scheduled to take place in Q3 and Q4 of 2023. During this time, we will acquire necessary investments to fund our expansion plans. This may involve securing loans or investments from investors additionally to own equity investments. In Q3 of 2023, we will also move on to location selection, where we will identify and select potential locations in Vienna for our expansion. This will involve conducting site visits, analyzing demographics and traffic patterns, and negotiating lease agreements. For example, we may choose to open a store in a busy shopping district or near a university campus to attract a large number of customers. In Q3 and Q4 of 2023, we will focus on supply chain management to ensure the smooth transportation of our chocolate cake from Lisbon, where it is produced and deep frozen, to our new store in Vienna. This will involve identifying and selecting reliable logistic partners, negotiating contracts, and ensuring that the cake is delivered to a store in perfect condition. We will also implement a rigorous quality control process to ensure that the cake meets our high standards for taste and texture. Even after being transported long distances, by managing our supply chain effectively, we can ensure that our customers in Vienna can enjoy the same delicious chocolate cake that our customers in Lisbon have come to love, without compromising on quality or freshness. In Q2, Q3, and Q4 of 2024, we will focus on marketing promotion campaigns, recruitment, training, and the store opening. During this time, we develop and implement marketing and promotional campaigns to attract customers to our new stores, hire and train staff to work in our new locations, and finally open the stores to the public. As an example of marketing measures, we may offer discounts or free samples to attract new customers into our new stores, while also providing comprehensive training to our new staff to ensure they provide the excellent customer service they know, our customers know from Lisbon. Starting from Q1 in 2025, we will begin evaluating key performance indicators, KPIs, to assess the success of our expansion. This will involve tracking metrics like revenue, profit margin, customer retention, and customer satisfaction to determine whether our expansion is meeting our goals and objectives. Finally, in Q4 of 2024 and Q1 of 2025, we will review and adapt our expansion strategy based on our KPIs and customer feedback. This may involve making changes to our marketing campaigns, adjusting our product offerings, or exploring new locations to open additional stores. Overall, our expansion plan involves a multi-step process that requires careful planning, investment, and execution to ensure we are successful in our expansion goals. Now coming to financials. Looking at the income statement of the Alex factory store, the company has grown tremendously, with sales and services provided reaching 563,000 in fiscal year 2019. The revenue dropped to 360k in fiscal year 2020, likely due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but the company was able to recover somewhat in fiscal year 2021, with total revenue reaching 409,000. Now looking at the costs, the company's cost of goods sold and materials consumed represented approximately 32% of the total revenue on average over the past 3 years. Additionally, supplies and external services represented around 25% of the total revenue, while personal expenses represented around 48% of the total revenue on average over the past 3 years. These are just general averages, and the actual percentage may vary from year to year. With these revenues in mind, we constructed two scenarios for opening a new store in Vienna. And the two scenarios have some similarities and differences. The main differences between the two scenarios is the sales and service provided. In the upside scenario, the sales growth rate is higher than the downside scenario, resulting in much higher net income. The downside scenario is based on lower sales growth rate compared to the upside scenario. However, both scenarios are conservative due to the impact of COVID-19 on the historical data from our LX store. The major differences in the income statement for the 5-year period between the two scenarios is the sales and service provided in the downside scenario. The total sales and service provided start at 41,000 in fiscal year 2024, where the store opens, and increase at a 39% compounded annual growth rate, CAGR, over the next 4 years, reaching 153,000 in fiscal year 2027. In contrast, in the upside scenario, the total sales and service provided starting at 66,000 in fiscal year 2024 and increase at a higher CAGR at 59% over the next 4 years, reaching 422,000 in fiscal year 2027. COGS and materials consumed and external services, personal expenses and logistics costs are all directly connected to revenues. However, due to less overhead and an existing management structure, personal expenses will be limited to in-store staff, and additional logistic costs will be accounted for the transport from Lisbon to Vienna. In the downside scenario, the net income is negative for all 5 years, with the net loss decreasing each year. In the upside scenario, the net income is negative for the first 2 years, but becomes positive in fiscal year 2025 and increases significantly in the following years. It is important to note that the presented scenarios are based on various assumptions. Therefore, the actual results could differ from these projections. In addition to the income statement, the company's financial statements also include the cash flow statement, which shows the inflow and outflow of cash from the company's operations, investments and financing activities. Investment activities in general refer to the purchase or sale of long-term assets. Opening a store involves significant capital expenditures, or also called CapEx, which is a cash outflow from the investment activities. CapEx includes expenses related to acquisition, construction, or improvement of long-term assets, such as property, buildings, and equipment. The minimum and maximum CapEx amount given for the Vienna project are 80,000 and 270,000 respectively, and therefore represent the range of potential investment costs associated with this new store. The fluctuation in investment costs could come from various factors, such as location, size, and condition of the property, as well as the level of customization required to fit the store's needs. For example, if the store location requires extensive renovation work, the cost of construction could reach the CapEx limit. Additionally, unexpected expenses such as permit fees, taxes, and legal costs could also contribute to the fluctuation in investment costs. Therefore, it is important for a company to carefully estimate the CapEx required for a new store and to budget accordingly to avoid potential financial difficulties. The business model canvas is a strategic management tool used to visualize and analyze a company's business model. In the case of Landeau, the canvas is divided into 9 components. The partners are the suppliers of ingredients, the landlord, to which frequent communication is needed to gain knowledge about potential rent adjustments, the factory needed to produce the cake, and the transportation company for the transportation and deep-freezing of the cake. These partnerships are essential to ensure quality, consistency, and efficiency in the production and delivery of the cake. The key activities of Landeau include baking and selling the exclusive cake of high quality, packaging and branding, quality control, managing distribution channels such as physical stores and online platforms. These activities ensure that the company's products are of the highest quality and meet the expectations of their customers. Regarding value proposition, Landeau's value propositions are premium, high quality and unique chocolate cake that offers customers a unique experience. The company also provides excellent customer service, personalized recommendations and suggestions, making the customer feel like they are part of the family. The company aims to create long-lasting relationships with its customers by providing exceptional service. The customer segments of Landeau include chocolate lovers of all ages who appreciate high-quality ingredients, families looking for tradition and experience, and couples and families celebrating special occasions. The company targets those who value quality and are willing to pay a premium price for the unique experience. The key resources of Landeau de Chocolat are the manufacturing facilities and equipment, online store platform, and the exclusive recipe and baking process that sets them apart from their competitors. The company uses a multi-channel approach, including a physical store and a website. However, the physical store is preferred as customers often buy a slice of cake and want to have the full experience at the store. The cost structure includes manufacturing, labor, ingredients, shipping, logistics, and the company invests heavily in quality ingredients and the equipment to ensure that the cake is of the highest quality. The company generates revenue from its physical stores and online orders, with the cake priced at a premium. Landeau accepts payment via cash, card or bank transfer, and they are considering integrating MBWay as a new payment method. The business model canvas helps us to understand Landeau's business model by providing a visual representation of the company's key activities, resources, and relationships with customers and partners. It further allows us to analyze the company's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and identify areas of improvement. By examining each component in detail, we can gain better understanding of how Landeau operates and what makes them successful. Let's have a look at our KPIs and test and evaluate them. We divided our KPIs in short-term, long-term and group KPIs. Looking at our short-term KPIs, we are very confident that we were able to locate the most desirable location for Landeau's business. In regards to finding all legal requirements for the chosen country and locate a tool to aid in the hiring of employees once the store opens, we were not fully successful as we are unsure yet and believe that more investigation needs to be done during the market research phase. We are as well not confident with finding the total amount needed for our initial investments, as we already discussed earlier. Still, the capex needed have a very wide range, which need more specifications of store size, equipment used, and further, until we can have a smaller range that we are confident with. Looking at our long-term KPIs, we defined several: achieving a over 10% growth rate by 2025, generating 15,000 in profit in the first year of opening, and selling 136 cakes monthly in 2025. While we are confident that these numbers can be achieved, we still are unable to fully assess them. And the reason for that is that still more market testing needs to be done until we are fully confident that the product will achieve a similar growth rate as it did in the LX Factory store. Regarding the group KPIs, we are happy to say that we achieved all of them. We have become fully knowledgeable about the value creation wheel, and we adhered to the group's due dates and effectively coordinated with our key decision maker.
Phase 5C, implementation and control. In this, we have identified two key areas: the next challenges and required partners, and the project outputs and managerial implications. For the challenges, we have to expand the customer base, managing the supply chain and logistics. With our expansion, we have to reduce cost and increase the efficiency of the transportation systems. We also have to look into the major portions like hiring and training skilled staffs, adapting to our cultural differences, because let's say in future if we want to expand to more countries, we have to figure it out how the culture and the customs affects the quality of the cake and the prices. For the required partners, we have to partner up with local businesses, influencers for the promotions and marketing. We also have to better our relationships with the local suppliers and the companies for sourcing and delivery. And at last, we also have to be in partnerships with the local chefs or the food critics to understand the taste and the textures of the cakes. For the project outputs, we can ensure that we are in compliance with the local laws and the regulations. And to further grow our business, we have to analyze the feedback from our customers to understand if they are liking the taste or what else is the experience that they need. And at last, we have to maintain a strong relationships with our local partners to grow further. For managerial implications, for one of the key things is to monitor our financial performance, because to open a store in a new place, we have to also understand the profitability of the place. We have to establish a crisis management plan in case everything goes south. At last, we have to develop a detailed business plan for our further expansion and for our future partnerships.
Now that we came to the end of the VCW, we look back and take some lessons from the experience. First of all, we consider the involvement and feedback from key decision makers very important and helped us strengthen the decisions we were taking on each step of the wheel. The fact that we could break down the challenge into small parts and address all the components of it into phases made it easier for us to have a more complete analysis. The application of the filters was one of the most challenging parts, but was also the biggest lesson, since it made us realize the potential of the product and of the wheel itself. To conclude, of course, the VCW proved to be very flexible and efficient. We could easily go back and forth on the wheel to make changes, and in the end, it gave us a very promising result. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation.